copy. So Dan said, "Yep." And so I was teasing him. Like Corey said the same thing. Corey, if people don't know, Corey co-founded Coffee with Kenobi with Dan, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to just pouring over that, and just loving the heck out of it.
Yep. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun to see what it's there when it finally comes out. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on it and just read through it and try to figure out what part Dan wrote, what part Pablo wrote, and what part Cole Horton wrote. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So make sure you get your copy of that book pre-ordered so you can get it. Pre-orders have actually done so well on this book that they actually are. It actually, if you look at it right now on Amazon, it actually says that it's up for. It's currently unavailable, is what it says right now. So it's been pre-ordered so much that it's not available for pre-order anymore. So it's crazy how well this book has done so far. Hopefully they will get the pre-order up. It's actually ranked #1 for new release in the movie encyclopedia section. So it is done very, very well. So, and the pre-order. So keep your eye on it, flag it, and they will, when it comes available, make sure you get it pre-ordered.
That's right, and congrats to Dan.
Absolutely, congrats, buddy. We're so excited for you. It's going to be great to read it, and closer to the time that around the time the book comes out, we'll see what we can do to get Dan on with us to talk about the book and give us some insights into the creation process.
Yes,
that will be fun. So
yes.
All right. So that actually wraps up the news right now. So the news is all done for now. You can always stay attuned to our social media accounts and our website for the latest news as it comes out. I try to get it published up there as fast as we can. So keep an eye out there. Subscribe to our and follow our social media accounts, and you can keep an eye on the website as well. It will all be there. So let's go ahead, David, and jump into this week's episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. We have an episode entitled Unfinished Business to go over. This was the final episode of the Bad Batch arc, which I was really excited to see. It ended, it was just a great episode all around. Of course, with in this episode, of course, Echo's been rescued from the Separatists. And he's back in Republic hands, and he helps hatch a plan to take back an axis with the Republic forces, and goes on a secret mission with Anakin and the Bad Batch to a Separatist dreadnought, while Obi-Wan Kenobi and Mace Windu lead Republic forces and clones on the planet to take back the shipyard. And of course, everything goes crazy, everything goes haywire. Great action, great adventure, some good laughs in there too. And it's nice, it's fun just to watch the episode. So, and of course, the Republic wins the day. Great episode. David, what were your first thoughts when you watched this episode?
Oh my gosh, I just thought, what a way to end this first arc of the last season of Clone Wars. I mean, just a big time episode. Really pulled all 4 of these episodes together. I thought about action, intrigue, and the humor. I mean, they took it up a notch. I loved it. Wrecker and Crosshair trying to outdo each other there on the Separatist dreadnought before they got away. I just absolutely loved it. And then later, when they're on the Bad Batch's, their spaceship, which is beyond cool looking. When Anakin hands Wrecker the detonator, oh my gosh, it was the best. And Wrecker having a tear, it's like happiest day of his life, just wanting to blow something up. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. I also, what was so neat about this was the foreshadowing of Anakin's fall, in the way he dealt with Trench there at the end when he says, I don't have such weaknesses. You really see that movement towards Episode 3, so that was a real nice nod. Dave Filoni's all over that. And then it ended with having the feels when Echo joined the Bad Batch. That was perfect. When you look at the special modifications to the Bad Batch, and then you look and see, what Echo can do, particularly in this last episode, with that arm where he can connect to, different ports and different ships. I just thought, oh my gosh, it's perfect that he joins them. And I thought a perfect way to end the episode and a perfect way to end that arc. So absolutely, absolutely love this episode.
Excellent. Yeah, I really love this episode. You definitely said it perfectly. There was so much fun in this episode. It had the feels. One of my favorite things is we get to see Obi-Wan Kenobi in action again, and Mace Windu. We get to see the Bad Batch one last time working, and we get to see them working in ways that we don't see before. We got to see some of their unique tactics at the beginning in the very first episode. That it was a lot of stealthiness and very little fighting in the next two episodes, but this one was just pure Bad Batch fighting with the rivalry between Crosshairs and Wrecker. Then of course Echo fitting into the picture, just trying to find his place back in the world and the Republic forces again. With his brothers. It was just a great episode. I really liked it all the way around. It was a lot of fun. Now, of course, this episode was written by Matt Michnovitz and Brent Friedman. They pretty much wrote the entire arc, minus a part of the second episode, which Dave Filoni jumped in on. That way we could see Padme. This episode directed by Brian Kalin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Nice Irish name right after St. Patrick's Day. What a coincidence.
Right.
What a coincidence. I love that. Anyway, off subject there.
No, that was a good side tangent. Yes.
Yeah, when I typed up these notes, it didn't even it didn't even hit me till just now. I don't know. That's funny. Enjoy that. Awesome. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do real quick, we're just going to take a very quick break. And when we come back, we're going to break down some of our favorite parts of the unfinished business. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Aaron and David here, and we are discussing unfinished business. Now, we're going to go ahead and take some highlights from the episode and go through a few things here. One of my favorite parts of the episode was actually it was part of the preview. It was actually the preview for the episode. We have the Republic forces being led by Kenobi and Windu attacking the shipyards. They come crashing through the glass roof and land in a room just with hundreds of battle droids surrounding them. And Mace Windu gives this very elegant speech, which, kind of catches you off guard because, you normally you see him jump into a room of battle droids. They just start hacking them up. But he gives this very eloquent, "My name is General Mace Windu. By this point in the wars, I've dismantled or destroyed over 100,000 of you B-1 battle droids. So I will give you a chance to surrender and be reprogrammed to serve a greater good." Then they all just start firing at him. And Kenobi has the greatest response. "Well, I guess we had to try."
Well, James Arnold Taylor is he has got to be loving this season because I've seen some of his interviews on Clone Wars Download, and it was funny because he loved that he got to do that line in the second episode where he says, "Well, I hope you said hello to Padme for me." So he's getting these great little one-liners. And, when I was doing my initial thoughts, I put stuff down, and I didn't even, and that's the other thing. There was so much that I wanted to talk about. I love, like you said, seeing Obi-Wan and Mace in action and really getting to see a lot of Mace Windu in action here.
Mhm.
And that speech is, again, part of what I mentioned. This humor, not just Wrecker and Crosshair outdoing each other and Anakin handing Wrecker the detonator, but when when Mace gives that speech, I would just die, and I just love it. And that's why it's such a great episode from start to finish. But when those like you said, when I'm just so geeked up right now, when Obi-Wan and Mace go breaking down through the glass, like you said, it's just glorious. And then his speech, and then they're battling, and seeing clone troopers with jetpacks on, and battle droids with jetpacks on following them. Just, it was incredible, man. I couldn't even take everything in.
Oh, it was phenomenal. I mean, they just seeing the vast number of clones in action again is something that we'd seen clones in action in the last several episodes, but I mean, from previous seasons of the Clone Wars, we're used to seeing whole armies of clones battling whole armies of battle droids, and this is the first time we've seen that since the last season. So this was a great feeling again. This really felt more clone like the original Clone Wars to me, because we had that action going on. We had that massive battle between the droids and the clones going nonstop through this. And even little comments like once they clear the room, Obi-Wan's like, oh, I thought there would be more. And next thing you know, the room fills up again. And Mace is like, is this more to your liking?
And then Obi-Wan, it exceeds my liking. Yes. Just great lines.
Just random stuff like that they filled the episode with to soften the blow. I mean, even the rivalry between Wrecker and Crosshairs. Yeah. Crosshair. I kept wanting to say Rambo, and I knew that wasn't right. That's what they call Hunter. But Crosshairs and Wrecker, their little rivalry, trying to one up each other, reminded actually me a lot of the two of the characters from Lords of the Rings, where they're counting the number of people they've killed. And it was just a lot of fun having Wrecker bulldoze down the hallway, swinging battle droids and smashing them all by himself, and then Crosshairs running down, throwing all these mirrors. I seriously, when he was running down the hallway, throwing those things, I was sitting there thinking, man, that's a lot of explosives he's throwing. I didn't even realize they were mirrors. And then just firing that one shot that just ricocheted down through the mirrors, taking out all the battle droids. It was just an incredible episode.
Yeah. Well, when Wrecker goes down and he's just like bulldozing through those B-1 battle droids, and then you see the little this show just cracked me up. You see Hunter, he kind of leans over to Rex and says, I honestly feel bad for those battle droids. I was just like, gosh, because he knew they were done. And then when he's setting up those mirrors, like you said, like going through this episode several times, I started to pick up on all these things. And like you said, I thought, man, he's throwing, like you said, a lot of thermal detonators. And then you're like, oh, they're mirrors, and he's using them. And then when Wrecker sees that, he's like, oh, he's all upset because he got outdone, by Crosshair. And what does he say? I'm going to outdo you. And then even Crosshair, who didn't show any humor in the first 3 episodes, leans over and says, And so just great banter. Like, that's Star Wars, this great humor and banter as they're on this just high adventure. And so that was just, oh my gosh, them getting off the Separatist dreadnought was so beyond cool.
It really was. It was incredible, and they wrapped it all up with a nice little bow with them on the shuttle escaping, and Anakin going, "Hey, Wrecker, I got something for you. And he holds out the detonator, and he's like, "Oh, really? Really? I get to blow it up." And he's holding it like a kid, like he was just handed an Emmy, an actor handed an Emmy, and he's like, "This is the happiest day of my life."